Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today we're going to be talking about the Molasses Flood, the latest studio CDPR has bought. So a couple of days ago they started posting heavy job offers because they actually said that the production on their new game has started, and this does mean that the new game is going to be set either in the Witcher or Cyberpunk IP or universe itself. Now, if you go to the actual job hiring that they posted here, they said this: designers. The Molasses Flood, a CD Projekt studio outside of Boston, is seeking designers of a variety of types to join us on our awesome new project. So basically, they're already starting on it. So what they need is the UI UX designer, a lead system designer, a lead level designer, senior combat designer. So it's gonna be like, it's gonna have actual combat, and also a technical designer when it comes to the procedural level design. This is one of the most interesting things here because it does seem that they're planning something when it comes to procedurally generating the levels themselves. So could this mean that we are getting maybe a survival game set in the Witcher or Cyberpunk universe or not? We shall see. And I'm saying this because their previous games were always revolved around some form of survival. If we go to The Flame and the Flood, it's survival based on, sailing your raft and visiting various places where you can actually collect different things. When it comes to the Drake Hollow, it's even more heavily oriented towards crafting and exploring and etc, etc. When it comes to mechanics in their games, when it comes to gameplay mechanics, I think they do a nice job, and that's something, in my opinion, that is going to benefit one of the CDPR's IPs, because ultimately what is going to happen is that we are going to get a game which is going to be essentially different from the games we got used to when it comes to CDPR itself. Their games also have a very interesting graphical fidelity, which actually you can see here, especially as I said in The Flame and the Flood. So I wonder if this graphical style is going to stay for their next game. Now keep one thing in mind. A lot of people are speculating it could be The Witcher, because developers who actually got a job in the Molasses Flood started following The Witcher and not Cyberpunk accounts. Now, of course, this could mean something, but at the same time, it doesn't mean much, and we don't really know what is going to be the case with this game until we don't get any announcement whatsoever. So it could be The Witcher, it could be Cyberpunk. At this point, it could be anything. One thing which does make me happy is that this is going to be a proper game in the sense when it comes to not being just Gwent or not being, let's say, the AR game, the Witcher Monster Slayer, which was released by Spoko, the studio that they acquired a long time ago. So this, in my opinion, I believe is going to be a full game for like PC and consoles, because I think CDPR definitely needs a few more games to fill in the gap between their main games, because you saw now the situation with Cyberpunk. So Cyberpunk is out, they have to spend a lot of time to patch the game, and they obviously have to spend a lot of time to work on the expansions. It would be cool to also have another game from them, or well, from one of their studios, which is going to be good at the same time and which is going to help cut that time. Now, so far, the Molasses Flood has a great track record when it comes to their games. Also, one of the things that Molasses Flood asked CDPR to do before they were bought is that they want to work on the project that they want to work on. So they're not going to be a support studio or anything like that. Basically, they have open hands, or well, ideas to make the game that they want to make, and this time obviously with more funding, because CD Projekt is going to provide them more money. Now at the same time, I really do hope that CDPR utilizes this studio to the full extent, meaning that they just give them time and they just give them like money so these people can create their own thing, because I do believe they're capable of creating something which is ultimately going to be fun. So could we be getting maybe, now I'm just speculating here, wild speculation, could we be getting maybe a survival game set in The Witcher or Cyberpunk, maybe more in The Witcher IP? It's possible, but at the same time, the studio could do like a whole 180 and do something entirely different, just because this time they have more money to do that. Is it going to happen? We shall see. But again, they just started production. This procedural level is interesting, because whenever you hire people like that, that means that you will be doing some sort of like procedural map, and usually those are done in survival games. And also I like that they're looking for a senior combat designer, so there is going to be some form of combat, especially like they posted here from their previous game, like some form of combat. So we shall see at the end of the day. But do not expect anything when it comes to this for at least 2 years. They just started working on it. I think we're first gonna be, you know, doing Cyberpunk stuff before we do anything when it comes to this game. But I do believe that this should come out in the next 2 years, just because these games are not going to have the scope of the main CDPR games. These, you know, obviously the studio is smaller, meaning that they're aiming for generally a smaller release, which I have nothing against, honestly. Like CDPR as a company, like as a publishing house that they want to become, they need more games, and we shall see how this thing is going to pan out. And besides that, besides these offers, they're also hiring gameplay engineers, tools engineers, lead system designers. So whatever they're doing, this is going to be something bigger than they have done before, just because of the amount of hiring they're doing throughout these couple of weeks. And it's insane. And this is something which has potential, and hopefully it's good. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tell me down below, what do you think about all of this, and what do you think is going to be their game? I mean, based on the previous games they were making, especially like based on like the graphical style they're using, and just how their games are made, because the Molasses Flood has games which are kind of similar to their style, so that's interesting. Also, if you want to stay updated with the latest CDPR news, Cyberpunk, The Witcher, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button, and also check us out on Twitter and Discord. And I do have a Patreon page. If you wanted an extra way to support the channel, you can do it there. And huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out. Stay classy everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.